TFL EV is brought to you by Flow Charger, maker of reliable, high-quality charging stations for your electric vehicle. Hey, Andre, let's talk trucks.
Let's do it.
Let's talk electric trucks.
Yes.
That is a video of the Ford F-150 Lightning being loaded upon transporters and heading to dealerships that Ford CEO Jim Farley just posted.
Yeah, so they have started shipping them.
Yeah, and last week we did a video where we basically asked a question, will the Cybertruck be Tesla's first flop? And oh my gosh, dude, we get a lot of comments on that. I mean, we're talking hundreds of comments.
Yes.
And what struck me, Andre, was just the amount of, I'm going to call it misinformation that people put out there. And so we thought it'd be good to do a video and just have a conversation about trucks, about electric trucks, and what we think the future is, and then maybe respond to some of these comments so that let's say people who aren't as heavily into trucks as we are kind of see our point of view.
Do I look sleepy, Roman?
Are you sleepy?
Well, I was up all night studying for this. I looked through all the comments. I watched every Elon Musk presentation.
Wow, that's a lot of Musk.
So hit me.
And that's Jay over there, our producer, who's going to be reading some of these comments. So let's start with this.
That's a lot of Musk.
There were a lot of people saying that Tesla has up to 3 million orders. Did you see those comments, Jay?
Oh, yes, I did.
Okay, what were some of the comments?
Where to begin?
Yeah, where to begin?
Let's start at the top.
Yeah.
The success of any EV nowadays is not a question of demand, but of production numbers. If and when Tesla goes full in on Cybertruck and they produce more than 100,000 trucks per year, the Cybertruck will be the best-selling EV truck. The others simply will not reach production volume. Market for pickup trucks is big enough. Where to begin?
So a lot of interesting and good points there.
Okay.
But the question that I still want to get at is how many reservations do they have? Because that is really the crux of the question, right? If the Cybertruck's going to be a success, they have to have a lot of reservations, and if it's not going to be a success, they're not going to have a lot. So we got comments anywhere from 300,000 to 3 million, Andre, and you did some research. What'd you figure out?
Yes. So first of all, there's not official statement on this.
Okay.
So Tesla has not published the number of current reservations.
Unlike Ford.
Ford is pretty open with that.
200,000.
Yes, and they continue making official statements about it.
And same thing with Rivian, right?
Yes.
70,000 reservations for Rivian according to their latest statement.
So I went through all the quarterly reports. Tesla is a publicly traded company.
Yes.
We looked at all the quarterly reports. They don't specify reservations. They talk about other sales of their current models, but not forward-looking statements on the Cybertruck. Then there is also a community, basically a forum, right, of Tesla reservation holders, Cybertruck reservation holders. And there's approximately, as last I saw, about 28,800 entries. So basically reservation holders submitting their numbers, their reservation numbers, which are random 9-digit numbers.
Okay, and this is kind of a good place just to throw in some full and transparent facts here. First of all, we have owned 3 Teslas, so a Model 3, a Model X, and a Model Y. So we are not new to the Tesla world. We have also probably owned another half a dozen to a dozen other electric cars.
Yes.
Compliance cars, you
name it. Yep.
And we are Cybertruck reservation holders.
Yes, I made a reservation on November 22nd, 2019.
Yes.
That was like the morning after what the big, huge unveiling was of the Cybertruck prototype.
And I was at that unveiling.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there. I actually saw the unveiling. I saw, the kind of rock star admiration that Mr. Musk got. Yes. And Franz, the designer. So it was really exciting to be there. I felt like I was at something special.
Yes, absolutely. So as far as reservations, we know that about 29,000 people are keeping the spreadsheet, of current reservation holders. I'm not on the spreadsheet.
Right.
So we have a reservation number. We'll put it on the screen so you can see it.
Where did that 3 million number come from?
Okay, so from those 29,000 entries approximately, they took the minimum number, which is a 9-digit number, and they took the maximum number.
Well, these are random. So when you reserve something, you get a randomized reservation.
I don't know. It looks like a 9-digit number.
Okay, you get a 9-digit number, right?
Yes. So I don't know how it was created. Maybe Elon, randomly assigned me a number. So They took the maximum of that and the minimum of that, subtracted it. It was about 3 million or 3 point something.
So it's an intelligent guess, but
it's really out there.
It's
a really out there guess.
So what has Tesla said about number of reservations?
So in the first week, Elon tweeted and said about 250,000 reservations were made.
Okay.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Because considering what happened with Model 3 and Model Y, the huge, they were riding a wave, right? A wave of, excitement. So I believe that number, 250,000, that was communicated. But now, since then, it's kind of muddy. It's cloudy. We don't know exactly.
And a reservation is $100 refundable.
Yes.
So this number that's out there that they have 3 million is not. It's a guess. It's not based on anything that Tesla has said. And so, as automotive journalists, we can't use that as a real number.
Actually, we don't have a number.
Yeah, we don't have a number.
Okay.
Except for 200,000.
Yes.
So.
Okay.
All of you guys out there who are saying they have 3 million reservations, we don't know.
Yeah. And we checked.
Yeah, and we checked it. And if you're predicating the fact that Tesla's Cybertruck is not going to be a flop on that number, then good luck, because it's not a real number as far as we can tell. Now, the thing that is, of course, real is that Tesla did produce 1 million vehicles last year, give or take, right?
Yeah.
Which is a large number, and congratulations to Tesla. I mean, that's a huge number. This is worldwide.
Yeah, this is they now have they have a factory in Europe, in Germany. They have a factory in China. They have a factory in California, and now Texas. So they have many factories. The Texas factory near Austin, Texas, is really impressive.
Right.
I mean, it's a huge building. They're investing a lot into this, and they're now starting to produce
the so-called gigafactory.
Yes, they're now producing their own cells. And then they're doing where the battery is now integral to the structure of the vehicle. So they're starting to do that for the Model Y. It's impressive.
Yes, and I'm a huge skeptic, but I am impressed by what Tesla has done. They have dragged the entire traditional ICE world, internal combustion engine, kicking and screaming into the next generation of automobiles, and that is a huge. That is a huge accomplishment. But, Andre, 1 million vehicles, while that's a big number, let's put this in perspective in terms of like truck numbers. How many F-Series trucks does Ford, this is just trucks, guys, F-100, F-150, F-250, F-350, I'm thinking of our old F-100.
Yes.
How many do they build annually?
So, in the United States only, they sell about almost 800,000 F-Series. This is not counting the Ranger truck, which is a midsize, or the new Maverick, right?
So the Ford almost sells as many trucks as Tesla has sold all of its vehicles worldwide combined.
Yes.
And I think that's important because it puts it into perspective, right? So if you don't come from the truck world and you look at a truck as just another car, which, is what a lot of kind of car people do, then you don't understand that this is an entirely different world and it's an entirely different mindset. So a truck, and Ram likes to say this, but it's absolutely true, is the biggest tool in your tool chest, right? And what Tesla is building is not the biggest tool in your tool chest, at least not with this truck. They're building what I would consider, a lifestyle vehicle, right? Something that's not going to be sold to Joe the plumber or Jake the farmer or, Sue the beekeeper, right? This is going to be sold to somebody that wants a vehicle that they can take in the desert over the weekend. And you know how I know that?
How?
Well, when I was at the launch of the truck, right, they didn't roll it out pulling a trailer, right? They didn't roll it out, with a bunch of glass stacked up in the back to show that the glass got...
A ladder rack on top of it?
Yes. You know what they rolled it out with?
What?
An electric version of a Yamaha ATV. Yeah, yes. And I think that says it all.
The Cyberquad?
The Cyberquad, that's
Okay.
right. And I think that says, where they've aimed this truck.
Lifestyle.
Yeah, lifestyle. And to me, I think the question that's still out there that's not been answered is there enough lifestyle buyers who will trade in their crossover and SUV for a truck versus the given market, which is, 1 out of 4 trucks are sold in Texas, right? And a lot of those trucks are going to the guy or gal who's using it as a work truck. Right, that's where the majority of truck sales are. It is a big tool, and personally, I think that market isn't as big as both Tesla, Rivian, and in some ways Hummer believe. I'm not sure. And there's one simple reason for that, right? Very simple, straightforward reason. And it has nothing to do with being a truck guy or a truck gal. It has to do with parking. I've been driving our Ram 2500. We just did a video with it, right? Mm-hmm. And that thing is you know what to park.
Yeah, you need to back into some spots. You have about half a foot of space between you and the next vehicle.
I had to go pick up the dog, and I had the Ram, and Tommy was at a restaurant, and this was last night, and Blasey was completely like misbehaving. He goes, "Can you come pick it up?" And I looked at that truck, and I'm like, "There's no way I'm going to be able to get that truck from that little restaurant because I will not be able to park within walking distance from it." And I think people don't appreciate just how big that truck is, at least the one that I rode in, right? And we don't know specifications.
Yeah, so we do know a couple of things, and I want to make this point is that, and Elon Musk is very good at this, disruption, right? And I think what he did when that November event you were at, what really happened there is he really poked some 800-pound gorillas. I'm talking about Ford, I'm talking about GM, and some others. And he said, hey, he even did a tug of war against an F-150, right?
Yeah.
So that's a direct poke. And he said that this truck is about the same footprint as an F-150, right? They did say that. So Ford answered, right? The Lightning is rolling onto the shipping trucks, right? The Lightning is an electric truck. GM is now rolling out the Hummer. And the Hummer has the same specifications, approximately 3 seconds 0 to 60, that Elon promised, basically. He said 2.9 seconds 0 to 60 in the Cybertruck. And GM said, oh yeah, well, we'll build a Hummer that does that. So, but there is still no Cybertruck. So I want to make that point. I mean, they did make a big splash. That's absolutely true. And now the big players, the legacy players in the space, are answering.
Yeah, and I think the commenters in those videos don't understand that GM and Ford are basically truck companies. Let's face it. I mean, they're basically truck companies.
Well, they stopped building sedans.
Yeah, Ford stopped building sedans, and somehow the belief is that Ford will just roll over and that
and
Tesla walk away, and they and they don't quite understand that Ford is in our world one of the most competitive companies we have ever dealt with. Right? They're not going to just roll over and wait for the Cybertruck to come in, and the proof in that is that Tesla said that they were going to put this thing out at the end of
2021. Yeah.
And Ford said that they were going to build a factory from scratch, which Tesla said as well.
Yes.
And that they were going to release the Lightning. Ford did it. Tesla didn't.
Yes, and that's the difference here in the truck space.
In the truck space, yeah. Well, no, it's more than that. Tesla has. So forgive us if we're being skeptical, guys, but Tesla has a very bad track record. I don't know any of the legacy car makers, except for maybe some of the outliers, where they introduce a vehicle and then they don't build it. And and I know that's a strong statement, but let's face it. Tesla said they were going to build a semi-truck. They haven't. They said they were going to build a roadster. They haven't. And you can come back in the comments and say, well, they will build it, but they haven't, Andre.
Or at least in the time frame that was originally communicated, or not communicated at all.
Yeah, they haven't built it. The Cybertruck should have been here now. We should have been driving one at this point.
Originally, they introduced the Cybertruck, like you said, Roman, November of 2019. At that time, right around there, they said it was going to come out, the dual and tri-motor all-wheel drive in late 2021, and the rear-wheel drive in late 22.
Yes.
Where are we?
Well, they're not in production yet.
No.
Oh, and the semi-truck.
Semi-truck came out before that.
Revealed in November 2017. They said not long after, they'll start building them the end of 2020.
Still not on sale.
Yeah.
I'm not done. The Roadster.
Ooh. Yeah.
Also came out the same day as the Semi.
Yeah, I remember they rolled it out of the Semi.
Yep. Also, 2020 availability.
Yeah, and they took a $250,000 deposit. How would you like to be one of those reservation holders? That's a lot of money.
Can I mention one more thing?
What?
We are a reservation holder on the Cybertruck.
Yes.
And since 2019 November, I only have one email from Tesla. So I feel like completely like I threw $100 into the wind, and they said thank you. They sent an email saying, we received your $100 reservation, you're in line. and then there was zero communication after that. And I don't think that's quite right.
Yeah, the companies, and that's not just Tesla. I say all the companies are really bad at communicating with their reservation holders. We have reservations on some other vehicles out there, and we have been struggling to hear. So that's not just Tesla. I think if there's a place where truck and car companies can improve, it's actually communication with their customers. It's really bad.
Yeah, I would have liked to see an email. Hey, we're missing one of our deadlines. Please stay tuned.
Yeah.
Right. Stay tuned to this. Maybe.
Rivian seems to be the best.
Rivian has done that. Yeah.
But the other ones are, they send you like automated emails saying your subscription service is about to run out. Here, pay us $30 a month so you can have remote start. That's not communicating with your customers. That's just insulting.
Yes.
That's just trying to get them to buy more.
So do we want to answer a couple more?
Yeah, let's go. Read another one there, Jay, would you?
Oh boy. Okay.
Pick another one.
Sure.
We'll address these comments.
Right. You have no idea about anything in the EV industry. Rivian and Ford will never scale to more than 100,000 units per year. Cybertruck has a 400,000 year target and much cheaper to make. Long story short, when nothing else is available, people will buy the Cybertruck and they'll realize it's the superior machine.
Wow, so there's a lot to unpack there. First of all,
there's a lot of estimates that are coming from nowhere.
Yeah, so let's unpack that. First of all, if you want to buy an electric vehicle, that's a truck. You can buy a Rivian, you can buy a Hummer EV, and you can buy a Lightning.
Yes.
You can't buy a Cybertruck. So your logic there is problematic. And I say that knowing that they're unobtainium unless you have a reservation. But nevertheless, in the used market, there are vehicles being flipped and they're out there. So that's number one. The other thing that struck me on that is 400,000 units a year. Wow, and it's easier to produce. Let's talk about that. What is the Cybertruck made out of, Andre?
So Elon is very proud of this,
Yeah.
and actually I think it's an interesting idea. They're basically building it out of stainless steel.
Yes.
And it's an exoskeleton, so really there's not really a frame. So the entire body is basically a superstructure.
But
it's almost like a plane.
Just to be fair, Toucher did that back in the 1900s.
80 years ago?
Yeah,
or 90 years ago?
Yeah, where basically the chassis was the structure, and they still do it today in their trucks. It was a unique song. It's not I remember during Giga Factory Day, right, when they touted the fact that the battery is going to be part of the structure, and everybody, I was like, wow, this has been done. Not with batteries, but with engines and
airplanes,
transmissions, and it's out there.
So stainless steel, interesting material. They called it bulletproof during that initial show.
Yeah.
They said 9mm bullet, it will stop. I don't think it's easy to produce, dude. There's only like one or two companies that make a press to be able to actually form this type of metal. So if you're saying it's easier to produce, it's cheaper to produce, I don't really doubt it.
Well, I would suggest that you look at the history of automotive design and manufacturing, and cars have been made out of everything, including, I think, Swiss cheese throughout the last 100 years, right?
Paper mache?
Probably, yes, versions of paper mache. The Trabant was basically made out of paper mache.
There you go.
The Corvette out of...
That's pretty cheap, right?
Fiberglass, steel, aluminum, right? It's all been tried. So somehow, I don't think that Tesla was the first one to say, you know what, let's try a stainless steel vehicle, and it's going to be cheaper. If that were the case, every car would be stainless steel, and every car would be...
DeLorean was stainless steel, right?
Yeah, how did that end up?
It went to the future, I think.
Yeah, delays until the factory basically was shut down because of they ran out of money.
So that's here's another comment I just saw, Jay. You guys are missing the point of Cybertruck design. It's not a traditional truck that is purposeful to allow it to... it is not a traditional truck, period. It is purposefully done to allow it to stand out amidst the sea of traditional trucks.
Yeah, I agree with that. Richard over here said, I love the look. It's different and not the same old boring thing. Absolutely agree. It's certainly different, and you're going to see that thing parked in the supermarket if and when it gets there. But as a truck, there's a reason that trucks are like squares. It's because of
ease of use.
Yeah, ease of use.
Yeah.
Once again, it's a tool.
Yeah.
So sure, you could design a screwdriver that looks like a corkscrew. And in your tool drawer, it'll look different. And people will be like, wow, that's an interesting screwdriver. But how will it function as a screwdriver? And, we can talk about the functionality. First and foremost, the most recent thing that Mr. Musk said about the truck was about the door handles. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, at the Cyber Rodeo in April 2022, they rolled out an updated prototype.
Yes.
It had side mirrors, it had a windshield wiper, had additional lights, different bumper. And then they said, by the way, one of the coolest features, it no longer has door handles.
No, he said the car no longer has door handles.
Yes, that's what Elon said. He said it no longer has door handles. This car no longer needs it.
Yes, and that's another thing that's like
nails
on chalk. Yeah, it's the fact that like car people don't understand that it's not a car.
He called it a car.
It's a truck.
Okay.
And I think this is where that disconnect that I was talking about comes from, right? You look at this as just another car. The problem is it's not a car. It's something completely different. It has, I was listening to a podcast. I'm not going to go into whose it is, but the Lightning just came out, right? And this person said, they were talking about how the new F-150 Lightning drives, right? Mm-hmm. And how you can like throw it into corners. And I'm like, that is one question a truck person never asks about a truck, how it drives. No one is throwing...
Or how it goes around the corner.
No one is throwing... if your answer isn't it drives like a truck, you're probably a car person, right? Because no one cares. What we care about is how much it tows.
And how it tows.
How it tows, how much it hauls, how it stops when hauling, how useful the bed is, how many tie downs there are, potentially how good it is off-road, but how it drives never occurs to me. It drives like a truck.
This image is on a race course.
Yeah.
We don't take many pickups trucks around race tracks.
Yeah, I've never taken actually once. I took Pirelli had me take an F-150 around Las Vegas.
But they were testing tires, okay?
They were testing tires, and it was terrifying because after one lap, the brakes gave out.
There you go.
But don't worry, Andre, I think this is a photoshopped image from Tesla.
Well, I don't...
They just put it in the background of the track.
Yes. So let's say we have a Cybertruck.
Right.
We have a tumbleweed range, right?
Yes.
Let's say David is working the tumbleweed range and building a dock at the pond.
Which he is, yeah.
Yes. And he doesn't have the keys to the Cybertruck, and he wants to open the door to get his tools out.
Right.
There's no door handle. So what do you think David will say? Do I take a pry bar and start to prying open this door?
I think he'll say, I wish I had my 92 Cummins.
I don't know. So, okay, so it's cool design. Okay,
it is a cool design, but it's not a truck design. It's a cool car lifestyle thing he designed.
Do we have any other noteworthy?
Yeah, well, Andre, continuing on with that comment you just mentioned, the person went on a little bit, and I think this is important. Like they were saying, like, all right, Cybertruck has a frunk, but it says the bed is not small at 6 feet.
We don't know.
But we don't know.
So we don't know if it has a frunk.
Right.
Actually, did you see a frunk when you were there?
They didn't open it.
Okay, so it might have a frunk. It did say 6 to 6.5 feet. Elon did say it initially for the bed, but look at the line. I mean, you can't really reach over into it. I mean, it's just okay. It may be 6 feet, but you can't reach into it.
Here's the other problem. They took down. And this is also interesting. They took down the price. And they took down the specification. We do have some specifications, right?
They left the acceleration number on their website, which is 2.9 seconds 0 to 60.
Yeah.
And they left a number that says 500 miles of range.
So we know those two numbers.
Right now, that's on their website. We don't have pricing. We don't have exact timing. He did say 2023.
Yeah.
We don't know anything else.
And guys, I hate to be putting this out there saying we don't know, but Tesla has gotten rid of their PR department. So we would love to call Tesla. We would love to ask, what about...
But Elon is not answering my phone calls.
Their PR department is his Twitter account.
Yeah.
And so this is the downside of not having, and I guess, for the life of Tesla, having a Twitter account that tweets really cool, like farts in the Model S where you put in fart mode and it does plays music and it's cool. It's very socially shareable. But the heart of the matter is for many truck buyers who use this for their jobs, that's not going to sell a truck. Like you said, David doesn't care whether the thing farts or not, or makes fart noises.
He wants to get the tools,
or plays,
and he wants to build something.
Opens doors and plays.
Yeah.
Right. This is exactly the thing he does not care about. And I think to many buyers, it makes it trivial. It makes it silly, and it makes it feel like it's not a business investment, but it's a toy. And maybe that's enough. Maybe you can sell the Cybertruck as a toy. So here's an interesting thing. So when I was at the launch, I went to the bathroom, and I was in the bathroom, and I overheard these two guys talking. Right, and one guy said to the other guy, "Did you put down a reservation?" He said, "Yes, it's only $100." And he goes, "You're going to buy it?" He goes, "No, I did it as a joke, and I put it in my mom's name." So,
Okay.
so he just did it as a joke for his mom. I don't know how many of those reservations are real.
Will be converted, right?
Will be converted.
Yeah.
But the fact is that it does play somewhat into that stereotype.
So I think, how do we define a flop then?
That's a really good question.
So I think one way to do it is when, let's say it's 2023, let's say it's a year from now, and the Cybertruck is rolling off the line, and they stated whatever price it is, let's say 60 grand, right? I'm just pulling a number out of the air.
Right.
And they sell some, and then soon after they have to lower the price, and they're maybe sitting. I would define that as a flop.
Yeah, if you have to put cash on the hood, right?
If you have to incentivize the truck.
And the problem that they're also going to run into is if there isn't this untapped group of buyers that are going to convert from SUVs and crossovers to Cybertruck, then they're going to have to go after the traditional truck buyer. And the most hyper-competitive market in America is the truck market, by far. Mm-hmm. Even during like these horrible times of supply chain issues and unavailability, manufacturers are still putting cash on the hood because that is how hyper-competitive trucks are right now. And so, yeah, I mean, if our guess is wrong, that there is a much different group of buyers, then yeah, I think it's going to do really, really well. But if they're counting on the guys and gals in Texas to buy this, I think they're going to have a big mountain to climb.
And other entries already on the market.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah. Anyway, we got a bunch of really nice comments here, so I just want to thank everybody. I think it a lot comes down to actual price. I love the Cybertruck, but the F-150 is also pretty good looking. Totally agree about this economy, and they're both great points of buying either type of truck. So we were talking about the fact that the economy may be turning. It's going to be much harder to sell vehicles. I'm sure the Cybertruck will happen. I see it more as a competitor with the Hummer than the Lightning. You won't see farmers, contractors driving around the Cybertruck. That's that comment we just made. Personally, I love the looks, very industrial looking, built for a purpose, not for looks, just like a Navy destroyer. I think it will sell like hotcakes, but time will tell, and do respect you all's opinion. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
See, I just hope, Andre, they build it. We really don't have a horse in this. If they do build it, we do want to buy one.
We have a reservation.
Yeah, we want to take it on the Ike. We want to tow with it,
Yes.
because
And see how it works.
Yeah, see how it works. Because look, there is a shift happening in this country right now. It's like when we went from horses to internal combustion engine. Now that shift is happening, whether you guys like it or not. We're kind of in the middle of it. It's the eye of the storm right now. But we want all these trucks to succeed for whatever reason, and I hope it gets built, and I hope it stays, like Austin, right? Stay weird. I hope it stays weird. I just worry that weird is not the right flavor in the truck world.
There you have it.
See you guys next time. Ciao.